Hey there, Flo here. Oh, it's been a while, a little over a week, so still getting my bearings as usual. Takes me a while to get everything set up and figured out with all these different platforms. I think I'm good. Still can't get Noise Chat to work, so I'll just have to look at it from time to time. Hopefully not miss anything. So let's see what's going on. Probably the last week, probably since I streamed almost, I've been working on random map stuff, believe it or not. I've always been really into maps since I was a kid. In fact, when I was a little kid, I used to draw maps, just like copy them, sort of like just the contours of them. I had some pretty good drawings for a young kid of maps, and then in high school I loved drawing maps in geography classes and all that stuff. Always went overboard with one of my best friends. I always drew really cool maps. And then when I got into hiking and stuff, I've always been into maps since then. I like to use different software for that. I always record my hiking tracks and stuff. So for the last week or so, I've been working on map stuff just off stream. Getting randomly distracted with yet another hobby, as usual. But maps have been a hobby for a long time, but I discovered a new software available that I've been playing around with a lot, so anyway, nothing really to show on stream, but just mentioning that as a vlog point. And I guess I can get back into my regular scene here. I don't have my camera on right now. I don't know if I'll turn it on or not. But today I'm probably going to be working on programming stuff if I can get my head in the game. Sometimes I just can't seem to concentrate and I don't get anything done. So we'll see how it goes. It doesn't seem like... Can't tell if Noise is working anyway. Even I know the chat's not working, but looks kind of messed up anyway. I can't see my own channel. Whatever. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, so we'll see if I can do anything. I did a couple little tasks off stream. So I guess I'll just show that real quick. Let's see. Gotta fix this. Still haven't fixed that yet. Just been putting it off. It's one of those things that I don't even really know what's going on. I'm not actually improving in coding. It's kind of funny. Like, honestly, like if I had the tool of AI back when I was into programming, I think I could have learned very quickly. Like back when I was doing programming and web design and stuff, back in the early 2000s, the way I learned was I got a few books from the library, because, the internet was in its infancy back then. There wasn't like great resources online. Maybe you could find somebody's techno blog or something, or a forum or something, or just read through the documentation of whatever language you were trying to learn. But it wasn't nearly like it is today. If I would have had like AI like we have now back then, I think I could have learned a lot more effectively. Ironically, even though I think it is a good way to learn, like you can just come into your AI of choice. Lately mine has been Microsoft Copilot. Not because I'm a Microsoft guy or anything, but it's free and unlimited, which a lot of them are not. A lot of them give you like credits or something, and once you've spent your credits, like you either have to pay to upgrade or whatever. And I'm not into it enough that I want to spend money on it. And since the Microsoft one is free for now anyway, I've been using it. It does have, let's see, did they turn that off? Interesting. Normally it has like the deep think little icon there. I wonder if they like got rid of that, or maybe they saw how much I was using it and they canceled it on my IP address. I'm curious about that now. Let's see. What? Actually, maybe I could just ask it. It's funny, ever since AI has kind of become pretty useful these days, I don't usually do searches anymore. I just ask AI. So what happened to your deep think button? I saw it as recently as yesterday. Did they cancel that functionality? Still available. Microsoft recently made it free for all users, so you no longer need a Copilot Pro. Yeah, that's been the case ever since I've been using it. But the thing about the think deeper, whatever it's called, it's been limited. So like, it seems to be pretty generous. Like I've used it like hundreds of times in a week or in a day even, and only one time did I reach some kind of limit, and it said you have to wait till next week to use it again. So I think it's on a per week limitation basis of some sort, but it's kind of hard to reach that limit. Like I was using it a lot, and only one time did I see that message. Other times it seems to not work, and then like today it's just gone for some reason. I think your training, when is your training data cut off? My knowledge is constantly being updated, so I don't have a specific cutoff date. This allows me... See, that might not be true. Most AI is trained at a certain point in time, and so it doesn't have information past that date. However, some of the newer AIs, like I believe this one, can search the internet and actively get new information, but at the same time, parts of it seem to be sort of cut off. Hey, Realism, how are you doing? Anyway, kind of surprised that it doesn't know. Doesn't seem to know that it's, doesn't have the button. Could be just this browser. I'm okay. I've actually been streaming on and off for a while, but sometimes I don't do it on you now because of the weird technology they use, but I finally figured out I could use ungoogled Chrome. For some reason they recently made it so you have to use Chrome to stream on you now, and so for a while I was just like, oh, forget that. But yeah, I told someone you read the Bible on screen and a person wanted to know who it was and waited for you to come back live. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't always do that. Like I haven't been doing it lately. It's kind of just random. Just one of the many things that I do on my stream. But lately I haven't really been doing it regularly. I am currently working on the Bible app though, so while I'm probably not going to read the Bible today necessarily, although I was thinking about reading one passage, but I don't know. But anyway, working on this Bible app, and so that's kind of what I'll be doing today. It's just some programming stuff. Kind of boring. Nothing really interesting to watch. You can be for the grace of God, yeah. But yeah, I don't always do that. I'm a variety streamer, so I kind of do a bunch of different stuff. But one thing that I did want to talk about was that someone that I don't know personally, but somebody that I know of passed away yesterday, and I've just been kind of sad about it. It's not somebody that I knew, like, personally. I didn't meet them, but they were a popular content creator on YouTube. And and I don't know if anybody on my channel would know them, but anybody that is a believer on my channel and hears this now or later, please keep his family in your prayers. His name is Desert Drifter. He's a really cool hiking streamer, and he got in a car accident about a month ago, and it was a very bad car accident. He was in the hospital for like a whole month, and unfortunately he didn't recover, and his family had to make the difficult decision to take him off of life support yesterday, and he passed away very, very quickly. Sometimes it can take weeks for someone to pass on when they do that, and he just faded very quickly, so it was just time for him. And the cool thing about the whole story is that he is a Christian. He is a believer. I watched this update from his wife a couple weeks ago on stream, or 3 weeks ago or so, just to kind of fill people in and get them praying. I don't have a lot of people that ask to pray, but I was praying for him, and my mom was praying for him, and unfortunately he did not recover, but I am thankful to know that he was a believer and he's with the Lord now. And so yeah, but if you could keep his family in your prayers, I would appreciate that. Spirit be free into God's grace. Yeah, totally. I'm kind of jealous, honestly. Like I've every time somebody that I know of or hear about that passes away, I'm kind of jealous, just because I want to be with the Lord as well. But we are here for a reason, and our time isn't come yet. And so those of us who are left behind have something to do. We have a purpose, and hopefully we can take that seriously. It's called Desert Drifter. Here it is on the screen. Yeah, it's super cool stuff. Like anybody that knows me knows I love hiking and adventures, and his stuff is all about that. Super awesome camera work and great narration. He's just like super curious. You can just, that look on his face right there says it all. He's just constantly looking for new things and exploring. It's just really cool. And the thing that blows my mind, he started his channel in 2023, so just less than 2 years ago, and he already has almost 500,000 subscribers. That is unbelievable. So he just, the way he did his content, and he only has 58 videos. Everybody just was gravitated toward him, and it's understandable why, but it's just so sad that he's not going to be around. Good content without controversial drama. Yeah, no, none of that. It's just wonderful stuff. It's hard for me to watch right now. I was thinking it would be fun to watch a video on stream, but it actually is kind of painful just to see, just to know that he's not here anymore. But anybody that's interested in hiking content, and it's not even just hiking. He's always looking at really cool structures that he finds, like Native American ancient stuff and mysterious things. It's just really, really well produced videos. But anyway, regarding the shop, yeah, I did finish the insulation on the ceiling and stuff. I'm gonna try to get this. I don't like the effects on my chat. It's like the background that I use is different. It changed or something. Just a second. I'm going to try to fix my chat. The sound will cut out for a minute here. I think one of the filters in OBS changed, so it doesn't look the same as it used to. I need to fix it real quick. Where's it? I have so many layers, so many scenes. Hard for me to find stuff. There it is. Okay. All right, that's a little bit better. Shadow got messed up somehow. I'm gonna be here, but you'll be right back. Where's... Yeah, I'm not like super invested in you now. I'm on 14 different platforms, so I don't like dedicate all my time to one place at this point. I kind of just stream everywhere. But yeah, when you come back, feel free to tell me about it or whatever. I don't really use a lot of the advanced features on most. Oh, whoops! I accidentally forgot to take that green screen away. Just a second. Let me fix that real quick. Takes me like 10 minutes to find stuff. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I guess since I'm still thinking about, his name is Andrew Cross, by the way, just, not that it really matters, but I'm just gonna say a quick prayer for, his family while I'm thinking about it. Dear Father, thank you for Andrew and his amazing videos that he produced on YouTube to connect outside of his little circle and created an amazing online community, almost 500,000 people that were tuning in to watch his stuff. And so many people are going to be hurting and confused over the coming months when they hear the news of what happened. And I think I want to pray especially for his viewers. A lot of them don't know you and won't know how to handle the grief and won't understand why it happened, and they'll question. They'll have doubts and fears and sadness that they can't deal with. I pray that you would pour out your spirit as wide and strong as his community was. You would pour out your spirit even wider, at least as wide as that community reaches across this country and across the entire world. Pray that you would comfort each and every person who is affected by this terrible loss. And I pray especially for his family, Evelyn, his wife, and his parents, and I don't know if he has siblings, but just everybody who's connected with his inner circle and his church community, and all the people who are going to be grieving. I pray that you would be with all of them and allow them to grieve, allow them to be sad, because that's just natural. Help them not to feel guilty in their grief. Help them to go through that natural healing process. It's going to take years, especially for his closest family. Help them to know it's okay to feel that way, and even I feel that way today. It's been a hard day, and I never even met Andrew, but I feel kind of hurt, broken. So I know a little bit of how they feel, but very little because I didn't even know him. But you know him, Lord, and I thank you that he knew you, that he boldly declared his faith in you, especially when his wife announced that on her prayer request video. Thank you for that, Lord. I thank you that you brought him into your presence and that he's enjoying new life in you, that just restoration of everything that's good and the tearing away of all evil and sin from anything that's a part of him is gone now. He's fully realized his salvation in you, and I'm kind of jealous of that. You know that. But those of us who are left behind, I pray that you would give us new intentionality and purpose in our lives. Help us to live full and holy lives, Lord. Help us to learn how to set apart ourselves for you and to serve you and to serve people around us, because we don't know how long we have on this earth, and our lives could be taken at any moment. Help us to consider that fact and to realize that there's more to life than just things that satisfy ourselves. Help us to live for you and others. Pray that the message of his life, Andrew's life, would spread, even though he's no longer with us, that you would somehow use his story to reach people for you. And yeah, just give restoration to all those in need and comfort. Thank you for all this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I was going to show what I was working on. It's not really that interesting to most people, probably. But, let's see. So I have, this functionality is not really, it's kind of weird. I don't know if anyone would use this, but I'm always wanting a way to easily cut and paste stuff. Like most sites, you just go to Bible Gateway or something and it'll work. And you can do this pretty much on any site, but let's just say, you can come in here and like cut. I just did a Control-C there and cut and paste something into here, but like it always has a bunch of extra weird formatting and junk, like the verse numbers aren't especially formatted. It always has these weird note things in here and stuff, and so I always want like a way to cut and paste stuff into either documents or like I have a blog that I write on, and sometimes I want to put verses in there or whatever. And yeah, so the formatting and styling and of everything is not always good, especially if you're working with like HTML and CSS and stuff. And so part of the reason I have this little green toolbox here is this is eventually going to be the way that you save passages, but most of the buttons don't do anything right now because I haven't really developed this very well yet. But you can click anywhere on a heading, on a verse, whatever, and it works kind of similar to how most selection things work. So if you're on a desktop, you can just click and then shift click somewhere else. It doesn't always work, and I don't know why. I need to fix that. Yeah, right now it's not working. It might be something with this browser. I know you can control click. Yeah. Okay, so I might need to look at that. I was doing this earlier and it was working fine. It always has issues when I'm doing stuff on stream, of course. Let's see. Yeah, for some reason my shift and control buttons aren't working. That's weird. Might be something with this specific browser. Yeah, I bet it's probably something with this browser or some weird. Just try refreshing real quick here. Yeah, there's something weird going on where my keystrokes aren't registering within the browser, because normally when I press shift and release it, it would say over here in the console, shift is pressed and then shift is released, and none of that's working right now. So it's not even throwing an error, so it's like the browser's blocking the keystrokes, or I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, normally you can select, not going to be very good in this demonstration, but you should be able to select stuff. I wonder if I could try another browser or something. I just want to confirm if it's a universal thing or if it's just, yeah, it seems to be just that browser for some reason, which is really weird. So for some reason in LibreWolf, at the moment, I can't select stuff, which is annoying. Let me see if I can find another browser that I can use quick. I don't know why it's doing that. It's annoying because I want the browser that I'm using in my stream to work because I'm going to be working on it, you know what I mean? So let's see. See if this one works. Okay, yeah, it does. I don't understand that at all. I've never seen that happen before, so this is all new for me to have an issue that's in only one specific web browser. It's very strange. Okay, so yeah, on Google Chrome and probably Firefox, everything that normal people use, it works fine. So you just click anywhere up here and then shift click here, and then you can control click anything in between to deselect it, just like you would expect in any kind of selection routine. It works more or less how you would expect. So then, one of the buttons that actually does work, if I can get this to show up, that's another bug I need to fix, is the little control toolbox disappears. One of the buttons that actually does work is this checkbox, which is just select everything, and then this negative one is deselect everything, so that works. But all these other buttons don't really do anything. The save button eventually is going to be, you'll be able to save it, any passage, to a list. And then you can do stuff with that list of passages, but I haven't even really started that part yet. Kind of intimidated by it, because I could hack something together, but I want it to actually have a good interface and not feel like it's hacked. But I'm not very good at programming, so everything I do tends to feel a little bit thrown together. Anyway, so that the save thing doesn't work yet. The download thing is going to be, this little download button here is going to be various ways to save. Like, I don't know if I can even figure this out, but like save it as an HTML file with embedded CSS, or save it as JSON. So like if you want to export it and import it to another browser, or just have JSON scripture data that you use in a project or something. It's kind of more for nerdy people. I don't think most people would use it. I guess if I could figure out a way to save it as a PDF or something, more people might use it for something, but I don't know if that's possible to do in the browser without having a server-side script or something, and I'm trying to keep this all on the client side. This works, so this just like shrinks and compacts. Oh, that's interesting. So that if the top thing has a passage in it, it kind of expands the bottom, which makes sense. I could hide the passage when it's collapsed, but anyway, so what I was working on yesterday off stream was the copy button, which this used to work, and it sort of has always kind of worked a little bit, but it's been buggy on and off because I've broken it a couple times. But yesterday I used AI to fix it because I didn't really feel like trying to figure it out myself. So if you have a passage selected and you copy, so selected nodes copied to clipboard with inline styles. So that should be something I can copy or paste into. No. Okay, not. Okay, so there's two different modes for this thing. I don't remember what that thing said just a second ago. Selected nodes copied to clipboard with inline styles. For some reason that doesn't sound right. I need to look at those messages and see, because I would have expected it to say something else. But anyway, so there's two different modes. So if I want to use the HTML with embedded CSS in a project, I would actually paste it like in a text editor like this. I don't know about this. It shouldn't have this stuff in there. WebKit user drag, WebKit tap. Some of this stuff is really browser dependent. WebKit tap highlight color is weird to me. That's something I'm going to have to fix. It wasn't doing this yesterday, so there's always something for me to fix. That's weird. I don't know what's making that, to be honest. It seems browser dependent, to be, if I'm completely honest about it. I wonder, let me just try some stuff here. What happens if I just select a few verses? So yeah, normally if I hold the shift button down, it does this message over here, control, control, shift, shift. And that wasn't working on, whatever it's called, Libre Wolf. I don't know why. Okay, so let's try that again, see what happens. Oh, I know what I'm going to try. I should do a hard refresh because, well, that shouldn't make any difference, to be honest, because I wasn't using this browser recently, and I think the cache is probably doesn't have this website in it anyway, but anyway, let's see what this does. Yeah, it still has that web. Maybe I'll try to fix that real quick since I'm seeing that. I don't even know what that is. Like what's creating that. WebKit user drag none and WebKit tap highlight color. Like I'm not adding that CSS myself. Like nowhere in my CSS is that being added. So that's something that the browser is imposing itself. So I'm going to have to like write some code to get rid of those styles because I don't want them there. Because I didn't add them, the browser did. They're actually, currently there shouldn't be any styles at all. So I'm just gonna, since I'm at this, see if I can get AI to fix it for me since I don't have a big enough brain. But in the meantime, let me do a quick change here. I need to set up my chat so I can see it over on this other monitor, otherwise it's constantly covered. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go to verse select here. If somebody is watching, they're like, oh, I'm way more interested in watching if you show your camera, let me know. I don't feel like anybody cares. Most people don't watch my stuff anyway, but if that's like important to you for some reason, I can throw it on there. But like, it's when I'm just doing this coding stuff, it's like I'm just looking at the screen. There's nothing to see. My brain is distracted as usual. Let's see here. I think it's called copy selection. Okay, let's change this to false. Actually, I want to, before I do that, I'm going to keep two different versions of this and just comment one out because I'll probably forget what the syntax is here. Yeah, so what should be happening is allowed properties is blank. So what that is a list of CSS styles that are allowed to pass through. And so I don't know why they're passing through when I'm explicitly telling it to pass, basically to erase all the CSS. So it's something that the browser is imposing, and I don't know if I can get rid of that or not. Let's see. But at any rate, I'm going to demonstrate the other mode of this. Like right now, I have to change this in the hard code to get it to work because I haven't written any kind of button click or radio button or something to switch modes, which I'll eventually do. But for now, I just have to manually change my code and upload it. It's kind of tacky, but I guess that's another thing I could work on. This function isn't important except for me. I don't know if anyone else will use this. Maybe some other nerdy people might use it, but I have my doubts. So now, let's see what it does. Selected nodes, copy the clipboard with inline styles. Okay. So it has the same message. It should have a different message. Okay, so now that's weird. Now it's actually copying the HTML nodes with inline styles. I think the reason it's looking weird like this is because I have a default style applied in. This is a LibreOffice Writer, by the way. And I think it's looking a little bit weird because of that. I was doing some... I have a really weird default template set up for Writer because I use it for taking notes and stuff, and kind of made it unusable for any other purpose right now. But let's see. Actually don't know all the things that I did to it. That's weird. A lot of this stuff is platform dependent too. I don't understand why that last verse is bigger than the others. Doesn't really make any sense. The general idea of this though is that you can copy a bunch of stuff and paste it into your word processing program of choice, whether it's Microsoft Word or... I haven't tested this in Google Docs stuff yet, so I don't know if what that does. Let's see. Yeah, that's weird. Some of the verses are bigger than others, so that tells me something is... I think it's probably related to that browser thing where the browser is adding extra styles in there that don't really exist. Let me see if there's any pattern here. The other thing I could do is look at the actual styles of the verses and see if there's anything different. So let me just do that real quick out of curiosity. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like it's trying to tell what's important, you know, like take notice of this verse, but I didn't tell it to do that. It's really weird. It's like, why would some verses be bigger than others? I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. So let's see. Verse 5 is different. So let me see if there's actually any different CSS on that particular verse. It shouldn't be, but it could be. It is indented in the code for some reason. That's kind of weird. Let's see. Don't like using developer tools when it's like on the docked on the side like this. I can put it on the bottom or something, but it's not a lot better down there, but maybe that's better. Okay, so span verse 5. Verse number 5. Oh, I see why it's indented, because it's a child node of the verse. That makes sense. Yeah, so it has this, I don't know what is adding this touch action manipulation, user select none, WebKit user drag none, WebKit tap highlight color. That all of that is nothing that I did. The only thing I can think of that could possibly be doing that in my code is the what do you call it? Bootstrap. Like I'm using Bootstrap, but I'm not using any other libraries that I'm aware of. I don't think I have any other libraries included on the page. So let me see if I can unravel this mystery, because I don't really understand it. Hopefully I can get AI to work too. So I might, for this stream anyway, I might switch over to using ungoogled Chrome, because I seem to be having issues with LibreWolf today. Don't know why. Yeah, the shift and control buttons don't work. I guess I could ask AI about that. Yeah, I see AI essentially as a search engine. Like, I know it is kind of something that we should keep watch on and be concerned about to some degree, but essentially it's just another huge database index of information, and it presents it in a more concise fashion. So it's essentially a search engine in one sense. It's just more efficient at getting you the information you're looking for. Let's see. So I don't ever go to like Google anymore. Google's garbage. Google's been garbage for years though. Like they've destroyed the search engine, so it doesn't actually give you search results anymore. It's basically just a marketing tool for them. But yeah, I think this LibreWolf browser is really locked down or something. Like it must have some kind of thing that's messing with the keyboard commands. I'm just going to ask a generic question. Do these styles look familiar to you? Do you hear any people talking about this particular set of styles on the internet? What might cause them? Some kind of browser imposed thing or Bootstrap? I don't know where they are coming from. I didn't write any code to add these styles myself in the project I'm working on, and yet they are there. Okay, so yes, these styles are quite familiar and are often discussed in web development circles. They are typically used to enhance the user experience on touch devices by preventing certain default behaviors. Here's a brief rundown on what each style does. Touch action manipulation. This property allows users to manipulate elements with touch gestures. Oh, I guess I do have one other library I'm using, and it could very well be the one that's doing this. I'm using, it's annoying. I'm using a JavaScript library for one very small thing, and I bet that's what's causing it now that I think of it. It's called Hammer.js. It's a library that detects different types of clicks, like double clicks, triple clicks, long presses, and so on. I forgot that I was using that. I bet that's what's adding these. So user select none. This prevents users from selecting text or other elements on the page. This disables the ability to drag elements. Okay. This removes the highlight color that appears when a user taps on an element. Okay. That makes sense. I bet all of this is... It says that they are often added by frameworks like Bootstrap or other libraries to ensure a consistent and polished user experience across different devices and browsers. If you didn't add these styles yourself, it is likely they were included by a framework or library you're using in your project. Without me causing you to AI hallucinate and thus giving me inaccurate information, what library is likely to cause these? Bootstrap, this is widely, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it could be Bootstrap. I'm not using jQuery. On this project, I wanted to get rid of jQuery, so I specifically wrote all vanilla JavaScript. And Bootstrap can run with jQuery or without jQuery. And so I got, like when I started the project, I originally had some jQuery in there. Just because when I basically my line of thought was Bootstrap uses jQuery already, and so since I have it on there for Bootstrap's sake, I may as well just take advantage of jQuery being there, so some of my code could be a little bit easier. But then when I read later on that Bootstrap, the latest version or one of the latest versions, doesn't require jQuery anymore and you can opt out of it. At that point, I started going back and rewriting a lot of my code to get rid of the dependencies. And so I dropped jQuery altogether at a certain point. So there is no jQuery, so it has to be either Bootstrap or Hammer. Let me see if it knows about Hammer. Okay, so it seems to think that Bootstrap is probably what's doing it, but the problem with AI is it's very I don't know what the word is, suggestible, or it's kind of easy to influence the outcome of what you're going to get with AI by saying stuff, so it's better not to give it too much information sometimes. Because like if you ask it a leading question like, hey, what do you think? Is it possible Bootstrap might be causing this? It'll just automatically say, yeah, Bootstrap is probably causing it. But if you just said, what is causing this? Then it might come to its own conclusion that may or may not be correct, but I try not to give it leading questions because it almost always just says yes. It's so rare that it actually just says no. It's really annoying, but when you turn the deep thinking thing on, it seems to be more intelligent, and I've actually had it tell me no, that's wrong before, which is refreshing. But I don't know why that button's not working today. It's kind of weird, but it's probably browser related because I'm using Google Chrome or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all, honestly. I use all these weird browsers, and I think it causes me difficulties sometimes. Is there an easy way to see? Oh, actually, I mean, it feels like I should be able to figure this out. It just says element style. Okay. If it was being added by a CSS include, it should have information over here on the right hand side that would say like bootstrap.css or some, some name over there. But since it's not, to me that kind of indicates that it might be a JavaScript file that's adding it dynamically, because it should tell where the source is otherwise. You know how when you look at F12 developer tools and see where styles are being applied from, it will list a .css file to the right of styles. I don't see any .css file listed for these attributes. Am I right to deduce that this means they were added dynamically with JavaScript? Yes, you're correct. If you don't see a CSS file listed for those styles in the developer tools, it's a strong indication that they were added dynamically. It's annoying that it doesn't trace that, like where they were added from, because that would save me a lot of time and annoyance. I think what I'm going to do, though, rather than wasting too much time with this, I'm going to see if I can get AI to rewrite my code. I might try Grok 3 today, because I want something that has a deep thinking. I don't know why. I think I disabled search engine on this, so I can't just like search from the bar above. I don't like Grok, honestly. I've had a few good experiences with it, but generally it doesn't seem that good to me. But, I'll just try it. And Grok definitely has limits, like you have to sign up and stuff, probably pay monthly to get. I don't even think there is unlimited on most AIs. That's why I've been using Microsoft Copilot, because it seems to be unlimited. I mean, I've queried it thousands of times, and it doesn't ever say, sorry, you gotta wait till tomorrow, or anything like that, except for the thinking deeper thing. Let's see. But let's see if we can get Grok to fix this, because I don't want to try to figure it out myself. It's pretty complicated, to be honest. I have this module, JavaScript, let's just call it JS module, that takes selected nodes in a page, ones that are marked a class equals selected, and copies them to the clipboard. There are two distinctive modes. One, copy the HTML plus CSS inline so I can use it in web projects. Mode 2 is copying all the actual nodes with inline styles so they can be pasted into programs like MS Word and LibreOffice Writer. That would probably work in email programs too, though I haven't actually tried it. And let's see. It probably work in Google Docs and Google Sheets too, but I haven't tried that yet either. I should try that sometime. Modes are controlled by the is HTML parameter. Anyways, the issue I'm having is that some library, possibly Bootstrap or Hammer.js, is adding extra inline styles that I don't want to be there when I cut or copy to the clipboard. Can we modify the module to look for those and make sure to remove them in every scenario? You're welcoming a new user. Cool. He does music beats. Nice. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to get this first try, but I'm going to try the... Oh, actually, I almost forgot. Here are the styles that are dynamically added via JavaScript that are bothering me. Where's I guess I didn't copy those. He said he had an opportunity to be big some way in the music industry, but prefer not to because he will be falling into the dark music industry. That's cool. It's nice to see someone resisting temptations. It's pretty sad to see how young people who want to get into some kind of entertainment industry just get corrupted almost immediately. It's very few that don't. That's why I'm not into following musicians or celebrities of any kind. They just are a terrible influence. And here is the module itself. Angie Stone, I don't know who that is. Passed away. Oh, another person that passed away. Who was that? Somebody. Oh, what's his name? Gene Hackman died recently too. Yeah, I don't really know most celebrities or musicians because I'm just not really into celebrities, I guess, but they're real people too, you know. Just because they have chosen pretty trashy lifestyles, so many of them, doesn't mean that they're not, you know, humans just like the rest of us. They need grace and forgiveness, and they need Jesus just as much as everybody else. I didn't follow her music career, and she was in the movies, the entertainment industry. Gotcha. Yeah, she doesn't look familiar to me. Like I said, I don't watch TV or shows like on Netflix or anything like that anymore. I haven't since like the 80s. So I really don't know most celebrities. Just found out about it, yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that though. Oh, let's just see what happens. I don't know if this... I'm going to turn the Think on and see if it gives me a good result. Like I said, I've had mixed results with Grok in the past, but since the Deep Think on Microsoft Copilot isn't working today, we're going to try this just to see if it gives us a good result. I barely watch any series and movies, but some at times. I used to watch movies more often. Like my favorite genre of movies is probably martial arts movies. Although I also like fantasy movies and stuff, but I almost never watch comedies because they're so filthy these days. Like, I can't even bear to watch them anymore. There's no family-friendly comedies. But, yeah, I haven't been watching movies at all lately. It just feels like a waste of time. Like, I want to be working on something or producing something. I have a hard time just... Oh, so you have to sign up in order to use the Think things. That's too bad. So I guess I'll have to try with not the Think. So let's just turn that off and see if it is able to do it in regular mode. I'm going to copy this to clipboard before I lose it. Hold on, his music is playing. Yeah, no worries. Feel free to go watch him. I don't have much to show that's gonna be keeping you entertained. I'm not an entertainer, so I'd encourage you to go support him instead. Let's see. I don't really watch live streams anymore either. Like, I have probably less than 5 friends or so that I watch occasionally, but I hardly watch any live streams. I watch too much YouTube though. I sort of just like doom scroll where I'm just like, I don't know what, I'm kind of bored or something, and I just sit and watch YouTube all the time. Okay, so it added unwanted properties. That's cool. And I'm assuming it will filter those out at some point. So let's just try it just as is and see if it fixes it. That'd be awesome. My guess is it's going to have a hard time. Like, I'm guessing those are imposed like at a certain point in time for the unwanted properties. So if it doesn't do it after that happens, they're probably still going to be there, but we'll see. I'll read up a little bit on what it says here. Hey Ambot, doing good, how are you? Let's see, that is... Wait, is that noise? Sick, cool. Noise is working. It's weird, because when I tested this... Yeah, see, for some reason my messages don't come through, but yours are. That's good. That's all that matters, really. Because I'm not going to be typing, but I don't know why my messages wouldn't go through. I'll have to mention that to the developer or something. Can you, by the way, Ambot, if you're here, can you see my video at all? Because, or hear me? Because when I'm looking at my own profile and it's just like spinning circle black, I don't see anything. So if you see and hear me, let me know. I'm just curious. It's kind of wigging out for me. You can hear and see your live stream. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Not that there's anything to see here. It's all pretty boring today and most of the time, but I do appreciate people dropping by just to say hi and whatnot. Okay, so let me read up on this, see what it's trying to do. So I'm gonna try to remove these. These styles are typically added to improve touch interactions or prevent... Yep, yeah. The key changes will involve enhancing the apply inline styles function to exclude these ones. That's great. I like how it's thinking here. Your current code already has a properties to exclude set, but it only includes touch action and user select, and the exclusion logic could be more comprehensive. Okay. The properties, okay, so technically tags to remove. I don't want it to duplicate logic here, so I did already have the tags to remove, but I don't remember why I had that, to be honest. It's been a long time since I originally wrote this. And I say wrote this loosely because even in the beginning of this particular script, I think I kind of started with AI from the beginning on this particular module because it was just a little bit overwhelming at the time. Oh, and going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the stream, the reason I'm using AI is because I don't really want to learn this stuff anymore. So while it is a good way to learn programming, because you can, if you actually read the stuff that it says, it tells you incredibly good information. And you can also just ask AI like to explain certain concepts to you in JavaScript or any language, and it will do an extremely good job. So that's why I say it's a great way to learn these days. And if I would have had that back in the early 2000s, I probably would have used it in order to learn. But now, my story is that I'm very burnout with programming. I don't really enjoy it anymore. And I was kind of, I can't figure out a word. The closest word I've been able to come up with is PTSD. I have some massive anxiety against programming because I did it as my career for 15 years and I got super burnout with it. But it's beyond burnout. It was to the point where I couldn't even look at or type code anymore. I don't know if there's some mental terminology for that, but psychological terminology, but whatever it is, I have it and I can't do it anymore. But with AI, I can tinker a little bit and then mostly have AI do the work for me, which sounds kind of shameful or pathetic, but I wouldn't be doing this at all if I wasn't using AI, so it's kind of an enabling tool for my disability, if you want to call it that. So whatever it is. So here's the new code. Let's see what it says at the end. It usually has a good description. So we define unwanted properties as a constant set. And we move those. Enhanced apply inline styles. Okay. Good. Updated merge and strip span. When merging span styles into H1, it now checks against unwanted properties. Nice. I like that. No changes on the output logic. Good. As HTML processing, string output, and rich text output remain unchanged. Okay, that's good. Testing suggestion. Select a node with the unwanted inline styles. Copy it. Okay. Yeah. Short and sweet. The good thing about how it writes its explanations is that they're not wordy and they're not poorly written. They're very well, like, these days a lot of people use AI as a grammar tool to like fix their bad writing. I try not to do that myself because it's one of the few things I want to hold a little bit of control on is my creative writing and my creative image type stuff. I don't really draw or create imagery anymore. At least it's very rare if I do. I used to be an artist and I used to doodle and do all sorts of graphic design stuff. These days I don't really, but I feel a little bit guilty by handing all of my creative brain power over to AI and taking what it gives me rather than trying to expand my mind or use my God-given gifts in some way, so I try not to do that. But anyway, because AI is so good at writing, you can see that when you're reading these descriptions. Most humans would try to write the same thing and it would sound really hard to understand. I am working on a Bible app here, so it's basically the whole Bible. It has an audio Bible so you can listen to it, and what I'm currently working on is the ability to copy and paste verses to the clipboard so you can paste it into other programs and stuff. Let's see, he was just telling me that he lost his brother from another mother recently. Just spoke to him last week and miss out for this summer to be chilling together, but now he's gone out. Yeah, a lot of people passing away lately. I guess it's always happening, but when you know somebody that passed away, it just feels like it all happens at once. Like my uncle passed away back in October, and then my dad's cousin passed away, who I had gotten close to, and Yeah, so it's when 2 or 3 happen in a close proximity, people that you know personally or are impacted by online or something, it's kind of a heavy blow to handle all at once. So I've been struggling with that myself. Let's see. I forgot what I was doing. Let's see. I think I'm just going to try its changes and see if they work. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he was a really good man. He was a pastor of pastors, you could say. He was a pastor for a long time himself, and then later in his life he became a counselor to other pastors and missionaries, so he had quite a impact on the church, I guess, or just people in general. Okay, so let's see. Let's just see if this works right out of the box. That would be great. I always like to save backups when I'm doing this, otherwise I tend to get a little bit lost. Did he ever travel to the Holy Land in Jerusalem? I think he did. I know my grandpa did. My grandpa was also a pastor, and he did travel there. I think my uncle probably went there once. I don't know for sure. Not totally sure. My grandpa, who was also a pastor, he did a lot of traveling. He died pretty young, though, like in his 60s, I think. And so I almost didn't know him at all. I was really young when he died. Okay, why isn't this saving? It's taking forever. I guess I had to press save. I think I pressed enter, but it didn't work for some reason. Okay. Any of them travel into poor countries, and even with danger in sight, they went to help to aid people in need. My grandpa was a missionary in Fiji for some time, but I don't think he was really in danger necessarily. But I think he, interacted with people with less financial means and stuff. That was a long time ago, though. My uncle, I don't remember if I don't think he did a lot of missions himself. I think he's been on trips like a lot of pastors do, but I don't think he was ever a full-time missionary. My sister and her family were missionaries for a long time. I've personally been on several short-term mission trips, but nothing like long-term. I wanted to do that for my life. Like, that's what I wanted to do, and so I kind of pursued it, but I couldn't figure it out. It's just complicated to to figure out. So I didn't necessarily give up on it, but it's just not something that seems to be an open door for me right now. So let's see. Okay, so let's just refresh and see what happens. Okay, so the styles are still there, but let's see if they get stripped out when I copy and paste. I'll have to change the mode to probably really fully appreciate this. Oh, well, that's cool. That seemed to fix the styling like all in one shot. That's awesome. So I think those weird CSS styles were causing those verses to be the different size. That looks way better. That's awesome. If you can do art again, that would be great to see, and to see digital art to graphic, be interested to see. I'm so bad though. Like it's kind of discouraging with all the AI stuff out there, to be honest, because I mean, I prefer human art, obviously, because it's actual, humans putting their time and effort into something. But if you want to be totally honest, AI can do better than almost all of us, definitely way better than me. So it's discouraging for me to spend hours and hours on some stupid little sketch, and then to know that I could have made something 100 times better just by typing a sentence in an AI thing. It's depressing. I don't like it, but I don't know. I don't really draw anymore. I have to be in a very particular mood to want to do it. I can't never be discouraged, because if you know your own art, that cannot be the original and never be flat down. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't feel as inspired to do it anymore. I have to kind of be, well, there's times when I want to do it sort of as just self-therapy, to just, have some kind of artistic expression. But usually I do that in the form of writing. Like in my journals, I've always had journals since I was like 16. And so I do a lot of writing kind of to keep it sane. And when I was younger, I used to like to doodle, but these days I don't get as much, what do you call it? I just don't get as much out of it, I guess. I have a friend, if you're really into that stuff, you should check him out though. His name is Elfsar. He has a channel on like YouTube and DLive. He's not on YouNow or anything, but he's an amazing artist. And he's somehow not gotten discouraged by all the AI stuff. But he's actually talented. Like, he can, make stuff that's as good or better than AI. Whereas me, if I do like my best possible doodles and art, it just looks like a kid drew them or whatever. Do you like abstract art? Sometimes so when I was younger, I used to like to draw realism, which is funny because that's your name. I used to try to like, with pencils and stuff, make super realistic shadows and highlights and stuff. But then when I got older, I was more drawn to like cartoon type stuff. So I'd just draw a lot of weird characters and stuff, but they're not cool or interesting. They're just kind of funny and random drawings. And maybe I could show them on stream sometime. But I haven't drawn for like probably 5 years. I just don't really do it anymore. But yeah, so I also drew some abstract things, because when I lost the inspiration or the motivation to draw like realistic stuff, it was more fun to me to just draw like random doodles and stuff. So there's a lot of my later drawings are kind of scribbles and somewhat abstract. I was never talented with like anatomy and stuff. So the muscles on my characters and stuff are completely inaccurate, and like the length of the arms and hands and all that stuff is way off. And so I was never really that good. I didn't take like art classes, serious art classes. I like everybody else, I took art in grade school and stuff in high school, but I was never formally trained. So I just kind of, doodled and learned on my own. Okay, so I'm liking what I'm seeing here. That's great. It looks exactly how I want it to look. So this is kind of the purpose of this. So you can go to any passage in the Bible. Doesn't really matter where. Actually. And you can just copy the whole thing. It's easier. What did I do? Go. Okay, so now it's pasted the whole chapter, and it's got basically, eventually this will allow you to not only copy and paste into different programs, but you can kind of set up your styles in advance. So I don't have this working right now, but eventually you'll be able to come into this option page here and change like the font color, the size, the line spacing, word spacing, you know, all that stuff. And change the color of the verse numbers and all the chapter title, all that stuff. And so it will look that way on this screen. And then when you copy and paste it into Microsoft Word or elsewhere, it will actually retain those colors and styles, at least to a certain degree. And then you can further customize it in whatever program you're using. But it kind of just gives you a boost of speed, or just kind of you don't have to do all of the styling. Like normally if you didn't have a way to do that, you would have to like select all your text and change the color and do whatever, and it just takes forever. There's this abstract artist painter of art that draws art for 4 days a week and does different types of abstract art. Also paints. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I found that artist streamers are a little bit hard to watch most of the time unless you have a personal friendship with them. Like my friend Elfsar, I sometimes watch just because I know him. I've known him for like 5 years, and I know a lot of his viewers as well, so it's more about the conversation. But if you just sit and watch, it takes so long, you know, you gotta kind of watch the whole thing. Or what I often usually do is I might just have the stream open and look at it every half hour or so to see what progress is made. But you know, it's such a slow process that it can be a little bit boring to just sit there and watch for hours and hours. But it's more about the conversations and stuff. But yeah, feel free to put his name in the chat. Like I said, I don't really watch streams that much, so it's kind of unlikely that I would go. I don't really like watching on YouNow particularly because I don't like how it announces you when you go into chats. I like to lurk. I don't like to like interact sometimes. And it's the same on Beam Stream. They do the same thing where it says Flo is watching. It's like, hey, shut up. I don't want them to know. I just want to lurk, you know. Beam Stream is another website I'm streaming to. I'm streaming to 14 different platforms currently, so Beam is just one of many. Yeah. Oh, I used to be really into the streaming community, but one thing I felt, I went through a period of a couple of years where I was almost kind of addicted to live streaming and watching live streams, and it sort of took up way too much of my time. And I think anyone who's been in the streaming world long enough knows what I'm talking about, where you just kind of get addicted to it and you get totally absorbed into it. So all you do, you know, you wake up and the first thing you do is open your streaming apps to see who's on, and you're just like chatting all over the place. And when I kind of realized that it was taking up too much of my time, I purposely kind of changed my attitude about it and backed off of it. So now I stream occasionally, but not every day like I used to. And also I almost never watch streams just because of that danger of, you know, absorbing all of your time and stuff. Never heard of it. Yeah, it's called beamstream.gg. It's pretty cool. It's actually they have built-in multi-streaming, so you can stream there and it will send your signal, your RTMP signal, to all the other platforms. I don't use it that way. I actually use the RTMP multi-RTMP plugin for OBS Studio because it doesn't cost anything, and it works really well because I have good internet. But if you don't have good internet and you just want to send your stream to one place and have it go out to all the others, Beam is a great option for that. Okay, so that's working great. Let me see if I change the code. Does it have an app? Yes, it does. There's not a lot of people there, so like if you're looking to watch streams, there's not like a ton of people there to watch right now, but you know, maybe it'll grow in the future. I don't know. A lot of streaming platforms don't end up going, getting very big and they kind of disappear. But can you go live in the app or only to watch? That's a good question. Let me check on the app. I think you can go live in the app, actually. I believe you can. I've never tried it. But that would be a good way to do like IRL streams if it does work, because then you could maybe not, I don't know. Studio. I don't know, to be honest, but it does have like a studio inside the app. So I don't know. I'll have to try that sometime, but yeah, I don't know actually. Possibly. It's possible. But you can go live like using OBS or whatever. Doesn't it have a live button or symbol indicating that? It's not obvious to me because I'm currently live already and I didn't start out using I'm using OBS, I'm not using Beam to stream. So it's not super obvious. But yeah, I'm not sure. Is this Android and iPhone users? That I don't know either because I've never had an iPhone, but it's definitely on Android. Yeah, I can't tell you for sure. You'd have to look into it yourself. Just download the Beam app and check it out if you're interested, but I can't say whether it supports streaming from the app itself or not. If it doesn't currently, I wouldn't be surprised if they add that because they're adding more features than most other platforms do. It's very innovative. It's a cool platform. I don't know if they'll make it or not, just because, like I said, it seems like it's a pretty hard thing to break into the streaming world. Like you got Kick and Twitch and YouTube as the main players, and it's hard for the small sites to actually succeed and make a profit on that. But I don't know, we'll see. Okay, let me try to change this back. That should do it. It has opposite triangle or diamond in blue. Yeah, yeah, that's the correct icon. Well, I didn't think I would be working on this particular feature because I thought it was fixed already, but it kind of was until I discovered that weirdness. Okay. Try to select all and copy. Let's see what we get here. Oh yeah, that worked. All right. I have to say I'm impressed. Like, I literally just typed one prompt and got a 100% perfect result from Grok. And that was actually using Grok 2. Or no, it is. Okay, it is Grok 3. But it's not the Deep Think mode. I think Grok 3 has a limit even just for the regular thing. You have to, like, pay for it. It gives you, like, a certain number of free tokens or whatever. But I've run out of that pretty easily. Like I think it's only a few per day. But I think if you go down to Grok 2, which is the previous model, then I think maybe it doesn't have a limit, but it's just not nearly as good. It probably wouldn't have solved my whole issue in one shot. But anyway. Beam owned by Beam Media Corp. Yeah. Yep. That's it. But yeah, I don't know if you'll find streamers on there that you would enjoy watching. I don't watch on Beam that much. Like I said, I don't like watching on platforms that announce your presence in chat. Like, it just makes me not want to view there, so that's the reason I don't view on Beam. I'd rather watch somebody on Kick or DLive or anywhere, pretty much. So if the Beam people are listening to me, you might want to consider that, and I don't think I'm unique in that. I think a lot of people don't like to be announced when they come into chat. They just want to relax and watch a streamer, and then if, at the moment they feel like interacting, they'll say something in chat, but I think it should be free to watch without people knowing that you're there, you know what I mean? It's too embarrassing and invasive to announce everybody every time, in my opinion. Let's see. So that's fixed. That was easy. Let's see. I don't know what else it's gonna work on. There's so many bugs. I'm kind of overwhelmed with the project now. When I first started, it was very simple. I wasn't really planning to make it with all these features. It's just kind of gotten out of control. And some of the features I want to work on them, or I want them to be fixed, but it's more like I want them to be fixed, but I don't feel motivated to work on them. It's like this thing, it's been broken forever. Like on the first page load, if you clear your browser cache, this doesn't work, which I could simulate on this other browser. So if I come into here in history, clear history, and then I refresh, and then I click on this, it's blank. So I need to figure out what is causing that. It has error messages here, but it's kind of hard to trace them down because they don't have... It's basically interacting with an API, an external API, and it doesn't give me very detailed error messages sometimes. I generally know what's going on, but it's kind of cryptic because my head isn't really in the programming game these days. New added picture to watch while multitasking with other apps, and pick for IRL streams, also multitasking with our other apps. Nice. Is that is that you now? Or are you talking about Beam still? Beam, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It seems like a good app. Like what I'm amazed at is they released the app like pretty soon into their development. Like the site launched like I think last year. It hasn't been around very long, and they already have a pretty high functioning app. Like, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, no worries. No worries. In case anybody is curious to all the platforms I'm on, I talk about it occasionally, but I am on DLive, Kick, Trovo, Twitch, Soup Live, which I don't really get viewers there. It's just, I actually stream to as many places as I can. I'm on Pixel.tv, Party, Noise, Beam, Odyssey, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and YouNow. So anybody that was curious can look me up on those various platforms. Hey Leo, thanks for the lemon. Hope you're doing good. I know that's all I ever say, but we don't have this really deep conversation connection. So you've got the lemons. That's kind of your vocabulary, and my vocabulary is thanks for the lemon. Hope you're doing good. But I do care about you. I'm glad you're still around. Still hanging out on DLive. get to listen to the ducks sing, I guess. Yep, it's Donald Serenade from Donald Duck. What's the game? I actually don't even know what game that is. It's like a Japanese game. Okay, let me look at this. I'm gonna find something that I actually care about. Some of these bugs I just don't even care about. I don't really want to fix them right now. Let me see if I can find those. You know, it's hard for me to find stuff sometimes. Let's see. Party. I need to update my links on my sites because somewhere I should have like all of those links, but I think I don't, unfortunately. I used to have all my links on DLive. Let me see if there's, some of them might be there, but I don't think all of them are there. I'm kind of lazy about updating my about pages and stuff. I have some of them on there. But yeah, Social Stream supports every single one of those. It supports like 100 platforms or something crazy. I also have a TikTok channel. I don't like TikTok, but I stream everywhere. And some of the sites that I have listed, they don't even exist anymore. Well, like Bolt Plus, they still exist, but they just became like a random TV show live streaming rather than a you know, like I used to stream there, but they took away the individual capability. So it's kind of annoying. I don't remember what else did you ask for? Party, and I don't know why. Well, I'll just put the sites on there. Because I don't know what my links are, to be honest, at this point. And party. But you can find me on there if you want, but the main reason I don't like TikTok is it's just because of the cultural kind of connotations, like the whole China and privacy thing, but also the deviant kind of side of society with youth kind of doing mischievous stuff. Like, I know that's part of every streaming platform, but there's a lot of trolls there and it's just kind of weird. But I would stream there anyway, to be honest. Just because I want to, you know, share with as many people as possible, and anywhere that there's people, I'll stream pretty much. But unfortunately on TikTok you have to have like 1,000 followers just to be able to live stream, and I have like 2, so I don't think I'll ever be discovered there. So I probably won't be able to live stream there. But I would if I could, to be honest, just because I stream on other sites that I don't really like that much. You know, Trovo and Twitch aren't my favorite sites or anything, but I stream there anyway, you know, so whatever. I don't really care. It's about connecting with people. It's not about some platform supporting idea. So anyway, glad that Noise is working today, though. At least other people can type stuff. For some reason, I can't type in my own chat, which is weird. I mean, I can type in it, but the messages don't show up, which is strange. But anyway. Okay, let me see if there's anything. I don't really feel inspired right now, honestly. I thought I was going to work on something, and then I kind of lost my steam once I realized I had to go back and fix something that I already thought was working, which is usually what happens to me when I do these live streams. But I'm glad that I found that, because now it truly is working 100% perfectly. Like, it's flawless. The only thing that I would maybe change on this is one thing I would like it to do is wrap paragraphs properly, but this is just the issue with the API that I'm having. Like, I'm connected to a Free Bible API, and the way it outputs is JSON, and I had to formulate a way to get that into HTML myself, which that's something I did not use AI for, which I probably could, but it's actually, the API that I'm using has a few bugs in it, in my opinion. So I had to kind of hack my way through it. And anyway, long story short, I'm not putting each verse or, chunk of verses in a paragraph. So ideally it would be something like this, where you'd got a H1 tag, H2, and then you would have like a paragraph there, and then you would find a break tag and then replace that BR tag with close paragraph and start a new paragraph down here. That would be ideal. So everywhere there's a break, you'd have a paragraph instead. And so one thing I might do to enhance this later on is make use of paragraphs. But it's actually pretty complicated, believe it or not. Especially, the main reason it's so complicated is because of the poetry chapters, like Psalms and Ecclesiastes and Lamentations and stuff like that. Because there's two different kinds of things. Like, you can see at the end of verse 5, there's a little space here, and that's more like what you'd think of as a paragraph break. But in between each line is just a BR tag, like a break, because that's just how poetry works. And so it's, I don't know, it was actually pretty complicated to get the JSON, I never know how to say that, by the way. It was kind of hard to get it to work at all, and then also to have these verse numbers hanging out there on the side. I think currently if I copy one of these, it's just going to make them into basically paragraphs. It's not going to retain the formatting, because I'm doing a bunch of weird CSS stuff. Oops, let me see. Let's go back to the other mode here. I wish I had a toggle for this in the interface, which I guess I could add that today. I don't really feel like it, but I never feel like doing this stuff. That's what this, you're kind of seeing a little bit of the signs of what I was talking about earlier, that I don't really enjoy coding anymore. Like, I really don't. But I'm passionate about this project, so I want to see the project accomplished, but I don't really want to write the code to do it. I just want it to work. But I'm the person that's working on it, so I gotta make it happen. So yeah, as you can see, when you paste from a poetry chapter, it just puts all the verses like in a kind of a paragraph instead of lines and tabs and stuff like that. Okay, back. I don't know why when I'm typing it takes to another broadcast or opens another program. I have no idea. I'm not sure what you mean though. Oh, I sort of saw your message, but I didn't read it. I don't blame you, but you can make money in there like a business, as I have gone through there some YouTube videos. Well, some people can. Like it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to get too negative or whatever, but 1 out of 10,000 people can make money at live streaming. So if you are making any money at all, I mean, like, I'm not talking pennies. I'm talking like, if you're making enough to live off of, or even a few $100s a month or something, which isn't enough to live off, by the way. But if you're making that much money, you're in the 0.001 percentile of all humans on any platform. Like, if you ask 1,000 streamers if they make money, one of them might make money. So to say that you can, yes, you can, but you have to be really good at what you're doing. Like, I've been, like, just me, for example, I've been live streaming for 6 years now, and I'm on 14 platforms, and I've live streamed on probably 20 platforms. I haven't made any money at all. and it's I'm just not good at it. Like I'm not good at live streaming. I'm not interesting. I don't draw a crowd. I'll never make money from live streaming, and I don't really care if I do. I just do it as a hobby, but most people will not make money from live streaming. Anyways, the last 5, Pixel to Noise Party, Soup Live, Noise Party, being with you now. You can go live with no problem then. Yeah. Yep. Actually, YouNow is the worst site. Out of every site in existence, YouNow is the worst one by far for going live because they don't support RTMP. So the only way to go live on YouNow is to use the web browser. See, it's terrible. Or the app, obviously, but like if you want to multi-stream, to be honest, I'm probably the only person in the entire world. There's like 9 billion people. I have one claim to fame, that I am live streaming on YouNow and other platforms, because most people, it's incredibly difficult to do because you have to use either the browser or you have to use the app. You can't use OBS Studio and live stream to other platforms with YouNow. Anyway, and I don't say that to brag or anything. I'm just saying it's hard. They made it really difficult to live stream on YouNow. Just spreading the word of God from the Bible to read out, listen to these 14 streams. Yeah, I mean, sort of. I mean, not that good. I mean, hopefully somebody will be reading this stuff on the screen, but I'm not actually always reading it. Yeah, right now I'm just working on programming stuff. But new feature in YouNow is you can now co-host with another broadcaster. Do you know which platform it reminds you of? Yeah, there's actually quite a few that can do that now. I think Pixel you can do that. And, or I'm not sure about Pixel actually. What's the other one that I'm on that I never stream to? There's another one that I have an account on that does that, but I don't ever stream there. Anyway, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think, who else can do that? Oh, you can do that on TikTok. I know that for sure. And I think you can do that on Twitch also. It reminds you of DLive, or what do you mean? Actually, I have a soft spot for DLive just because I've been streaming there for so long. I've been there for 6 years and I have a lot of friends there, but it's changed a lot. Like most of my friends from the old days aren't there anymore, so it kind of feels like a ghost town. And you know, co-host, you both can see the same chat comments. That's cool. Very nice. Yeah, I'm not really into panels or discussions just because I'm super awkward and an introvert, so I kind of just keep to myself, to be honest. But it makes for interesting content. Were you there when PewDiePie was? I don't know if he's still there. Yeah, he was in it just for the cash grab, but yeah, I actually was there. I watched a couple of his streams long enough to discover that the chat's moving so fast that he doesn't even read it, you know. He might read it like once, one comment the entire live stream. It was not very interesting. But yeah, he basically signed up with them just to get the contract, and then once his contract was over, he ditched him, so it wasn't really that cool. As other YouTubers join in, I don't know. Most people aren't willing to try the obscure sites because most streamers, unlike myself, are in it for the success and the money. Like they wish to quit their day job and just live stream all day and that be their job, which, you know, I wish the best to people that are trying to do that. But if you're being realistic, probably less than 1 in 100, more like 1 in 1,000 are going to succeed at that. I would even, to be honest, I don't have the stats in front of me, but from my experience in watching many streamers, I would say it's more like 1 in 10,000 that can quit their day job. It's a very small fraction of of people. And because of that, like, if you're trying to quit your day job and live stream as a career, you gotta go where the crowds are. And the crowds are not on any of these other platforms. They are on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Nowhere else. There's not enough viewers on DLive, YouNow, Kick, Trovo, you name it. All Beam, Party, Noise. You're not gonna make a career out of the viewers there. There's just not enough people. So, but for me, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it as a career. I just do it as a hobby and a way to connect with people. So, I don't care like about that stuff. Let's see. Plus, I know I would never succeed, and I'm not just being like self-abasing or self-whatever. Not being down on myself. That's just the reality. I'm one of the stats. I'm one of the people that isn't talented enough to make it as a streamer. And there's nothing insulting about that. It's just it takes an incredible amount of talent to be successful as a live streamer. TikTok, it was you needed 1,000 followers to go live, but the other day this chick said she was going live in TikTok with 197 followers, but she said you needed 200 followers. I'm not sure. Interesting. Yeah, there is one hack that I heard about recently that allows you to go live without let me see if I can find it. Keep forgetting that I can't search on this. And by the way, if you want to learn stuff about live streaming, this guy is your #1 resource. This guy and Andy Lippy. Let's type this out here. Andy Lippy. That guy. These two guys are the ultimate resources for all things live streaming. He recently released a video a while back, not very long ago, maybe less than a month ago. Oh, that's weird. Doesn't have that many recent videos. It's weird. This is sorted by latest. Where's it? It's got to be in his most recent ones. Unless, I mean, time is flying. It could have been longer ago than I thought, but maybe he deleted his video. But he had... That's weird. Or maybe it was a live stream. But there's some new plugin for OBS, but it's Windows only, which allows you to live stream to TikTok, and somehow it gets around the limit. At least that's what he was saying. Oh, here it is. This one here. I'm not going to watch this, but I'll just... unfortunately, I don't think I can do this, whatever it is. I didn't actually fully investigate it, but check this out if you're interested. And feel free to investigate it yourself and get back to me if you want to. But I think what I learned about it is that you have to. It's only for Windows. I'm not even sure this is the same one because I don't think it was 6 months ago that I think it was like a couple weeks ago. So this might not be the one. But he had a video, I thought it was way more recent than 6 months ago. Maybe, I mean, time is flying. Maybe it really was 6 months ago. That's kind of blowing my mind. Honestly feels like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyway. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really have anything else to say about that. But yeah, I think there is a way around it. But I'm on Linux now. I'm not using Windows. I still can use Windows because I have a dual boot system, but I pretty much spend all my time on Linux now, and since that plugin is Windows only, I don't have a way to do it, unfortunately. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, by the way, and I probably won't stream super long because at some point I need to eat a second meal for the day, maybe in an hour or so, but I will be right back. Get my Linux. I haven't tried it yet, but it's gotta be right. Yeah, I mean, it's better for privacy and stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna eat yet. I went to Taco Bell earlier. I'll probably just have soup, or maybe I might make a salad later, but I will be right back. I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break. Yeah, they have a $5 deal at Taco Bell. That's the only reason I go there. I'm not really a big Taco Bell fan, but so I go there occasionally because of that. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if I'm going to get anything done. I mean, technically I already got one thing done, but it was something that I thought I already had done, so it's kind of not very satisfying. There was something I was thinking about recently. Oh, this thing. I don't like how under certain unknown circumstances it gets hidden on the edge of the screen. Or off the edge of the screen, I should say. And it's hard to replicate. I don't know what causes that exactly. Might be... maybe if I put this over here, and then I make this smaller. Let's try that. Don't know what situation causes that. No, see, even that, like even when you resize the browser, it's smart enough to fix itself. So I don't know what causes that, to be honest. Came back, you went quick. Yeah, I just gotta pee, you know. Didn't take that long. Okay. I would like to fix that, but it's pretty obscure. I think is there... I want to like just tackle one simple thing. I'd like to accomplish at least one thing per live stream. It doesn't have to be a huge, ridiculous feature that I add, but I need to just... Oh, I know what I can do. This isn't very interesting, but this looks stupid. Because I haven't added any CSS to it yet, so I could try to fix that. The other thing I wanted to do, so on this, continue essentially just goes forever. So this is for the audio Bible. No idea what that error there is. It's weird. I'm gonna do two. This is gonna be weird, but like I want the settings for the audio Bible to be very accessible. So I think, I mean, this is okay with the modal, but what I'd really like to see is more like a let me see here. Good old GIMP. I can't stand it, but that's what I have for now, so. What I'd sort of like to see is more of a... This will take like 10 minutes because I can't stand using GIMP. It's the worst program ever. Hopefully the creators of GIMP don't drop by my stream someday. They'd probably be very sad or offended by how harsh I am with GIMP, but it's pretty bad. Okay, so... I hate that Control D opens up a new view on the same document. It's so unintuitive. Okay, so this is kind of what I'd like to see. I know it's kind of hard to visualize, but I was sort of like when you click on this button, there just a small like vertical panel comes up with some of the settings and stuff. Because they would just be like icons for loop and repeat and different things like that. That way you're not having to move your hand all over the screen and like readjust your brain to different scenarios. Also, what I like from your text shows it disappears off. That's cool. Yeah, honestly, I would like them to stay, but unfortunately you get enough trolls and stuff, people that write annoying things, that I'd rather just have it stay for a few seconds so it doesn't, you know, hang out for hours. That's the main reason I did it that way. But yeah, so I kind of want just sort of a pop-out panel like that, so that instead of coming up with this huge kind of invasive modal pop-up, I want it to sort of be right there, but I don't know. For now, I'm just going to leave it like this. So I'm going to actually eventually duplicate all of these audio settings into the main settings, which is this gear icon over here. So I'll add like a audio section and they'll be the exact same settings. The other thing I can do is I don't actually save these into local storage right now, so every time you refresh the page or come back you have to like click on and off of these, otherwise it doesn't remember your settings, which is kind of annoying. And then I need to also implement these other audio Bibles or scrap them. I haven't decided. In my opinion, these other audio Bibles are weird voices. I don't want to be negative about another human that has a voice that I don't particularly jive with, but it might just be subjective. Some people might like those voices better, but to me, the Sawyer or Sewer, I don't know how to say that, that guy has the best voice out of these three. But currently I don't have these other two operational. It doesn't do anything when you select those. This is something I added recently though. This is pretty cool. On a phone, this doesn't do anything on desktop, but if you're using the app on a phone and you click this, it will actually keep the screen on. So like if you're just sitting there listening to the audio Bible. Oh, I need to reset up that just a second here. Did you make it disappear from OBS? No, I'm using, well, actually Social Stream has that option in there. You can change that setting. I don't remember where it is, but Social Stream has like 500 options. It's probably not even exaggerating. Like up in here. If you go through all these options, it's ridiculous how many options there are. Somewhere in those options is to tell how long the messages appear. Oh, here it is. So auto hide messages after 20 seconds or whatever. So there's a million options in there. Okay. I need to get the audio set up here because I turned it off a while back. Message mechanics, yep. Let me get this browser so the audio comes through on the stream real quick. Chromium. Ugh, I hate audio stuff for streaming. Linux, oh man, Linux streaming is so complicated. It's ridiculous. I had to ask AI how to do everything because it was so overwhelming to figure out on my own. Completely nuts. I don't know if I can figure this out on a short notice here. GIMP.org, yeah. I don't really like it, honestly, so I don't highly recommend it, but it is free. It's free and open source, so that's what they got going for them. I prefer Affinity Photo. It's only like $50, and if you catch it on a sale, it's like $30 or something. To me, it's well worth that much. It's a one-time fee, and you own it forever. It's really good. It's almost as good as Photoshop, and it's way easier to use. It's just better in every way. I don't like GIMP, but since I'm on Linux now, I can't use Affinity Photo anymore, unfortunately. Okay. This audio stuff is annoying. I don't know if I can figure it out. Do-do-do.
You are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your...
The audio's going to go out for a second. I'm going to try fixing this.
You will break them with an iron scepter. You will shatter them like pottery. Therefore be wise, O kings. Be
that's the site.
Judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the...
Yeah, it's worth it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's worth that money, in my opinion. And if you watch their sales, like a couple times a year, they have half off, and it's really cool. I think it's... If you're on Windows, it's worth it. I think they're also on Mac, maybe? I think they're on Mac also. I don't remember. But not on Linux, unfortunately. Okay, this is going to kill my audio and make a black screen. I need to try to fix my audio here. Not that anyone was watching anyway. Oh, weird. Didn't save that chat background. Yeah, I killed my stream, unfortunately. You can hear me? Cool. Yeah, it should be back. Maybe just refresh or something. Some of this platforms might be gone forever because when OBS dies, some of the 14 that I'm on don't like reconnect, but it should be back on some of them anyway. Yeah, it looks like Rumble is out to lunch. Let me see what else. See the loading circle. It's weird that you can hear me though. Yeah, it looks like a Rumble is not going to recover. That's my fault that I crashed it. I clicked on the wrong layer. There's this stuff with Linux. I need to fix it. It's really an annoying bug. Once I switched to Linux, I had all sorts of issues. Let me check my own. Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay, we can fix that easily. Yeah, this should fix it. Let me refresh. I don't understand how you can hear me though. It doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna end and come back. Okay, that should do it. Okay, I just need to remember never click on that again. Oh, that's garbage. Literally just click on something in OBS and it completely crashes. Ugh, it's terrible. Okay, the screen's gonna go black again. Okay, now if I go over here, it's like a 10-step process. It's super painful. But
Son, lest he be angry and you perish in your rebellion, when his wrath ignites in an instant. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. Psalm 3, a psalm of David when he fled from his son Absalom.
okay, now
O
it should
Lord,
work.
how my foes have increased, how many rise up against me. Many say of me, God will not deliver him. Selah. But you, O Lord, are a shield around.
Okay, so it took like 8 hours, but all that to say, currently, the continue just keeps going and going and going through the entire Bible. What I want to add is like 3 different modes. I want to be able to continue the same verse, or I guess, I don't know, it's kind of complicated. I need to figure out how to do the user experience or GUI, whatever. User interface. I want to be able to loop a single verse, a single chapter, or a full book of the Bible, or the entire Bible. Like, so I need to like really expand these options and then continue. I don't know, it's kind of, I need to rethink what the naming convention of these buttons will be, but currently if you put it on loop, it will loop the chapter over and over, which I like if I'm trying to kind of concentrate on a particular passage. Just to give an example, Psalm 117 is the shortest chapter in the Bible.
Psalm 117. Praise the Lord, all you nations. Extol him, all you peoples. For great is his loving devotion toward us, and the faithfulness of the Lord endures forever. Hallelujah. Psalm 117. Praise the Lord, all you nations. Extol him, all you peoples. For great is his loving devotion toward us, and the faithfulness of the Lord endures forever. Hallelujah.
So that's how that works. And then if I change it to continue, then it'll just go to the next chapter.
Psalm 116. I love the Lord, for he has heard my voice, my appeal for mercy. Because he has inclined his ear to me, I will call on him as long as I live. The ropes of death entangled me. The anguish of Sheol overcame me. I was confronted by trouble and sorrow.
This is actually more interesting to look at if I put it in mobile mode, because then it actually scrolls along with the verse, which I need to fix that too. Which I've kind of been not looking forward to fixing that, but that's something I should work on, because that would be nice to fix that. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. That's why I'm not a successful streamer. It's one of 10,000 reasons.
Then I called on the name of the Lord. O Lord, deliver my soul. The Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. The Lord preserves the simple-hearted. I was helpless, and he saved me. Return to your rest, O my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. For you have delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, my feet from stumbling. I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living. I believed, therefore I said, I am greatly afflicted. In my alarm I said, all men are liars. How can I repay the Lord for all his goodness to me? I will lift the cup of salvation and call on the name of the Lord. I will fulfill my vows to the Lord in the presence of all his people. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Truly, O Lord, I am your servant. I am your servant, the son of your maidservant.
This is a fantastic psalm, by the way. I could listen to it over and over again. I think verse 15 is a good one for people like, well, anyone who follows the Lord. It sounds sadistic if you don't understand what it's saying. Like, why would God take joy in the death of his saints? It's because they get to go be with him, and he also takes it very seriously. So when that happens, you can be sure that he will punish those if someone were to cause that. But also, when we die as followers of Christ, we get to instantly be in the presence of the Lord, and we are his children, and he loves us. And so that's why, that's one way to look at it. I'm not saying I understand everything about what that verse is saying, but that's how I think of it anyway. And so, like, when Desert Drifter passed away yesterday, while for the rest of us who had to suffer the loss, for him it was a great gain, and he gets to be with Jesus immediately. I'm going to try to fix the auto ducking for the music on this. Don't see it. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
You have broken my bonds.
Yep, that works.
I will offer to you a sacrifice of thanksgiving and call on the name of the Lord. I will fulfill my vows to the Lord in the presence of all his people, in the courts of the Lord's house, in your midst, O Jerusalem. Hallelujah. Psalm 117. Praise the Lord, all you nations. Extol him, all you peoples. For great is his loving devotion toward us, and the faithfulness of the Lord endures forever. Hallelujah. Psalm 118. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His loving devotion endures forever.
Anyway, you get the point. So when it's on continue mode, it just goes to the next chapter, and it just keeps going and going. But I want more granular control, so sometimes I'm in the mood to just listen to one verse over and over again. I want to meditate on it. So I want to be able to loop a single verse, and I want to be able to loop a single chapter and loop a well, we can already loop a single chapter, but I need to add more functionality to that. And then loop the entire book. I think I would use looping the book probably the most often, to be honest, because a lot of times I'm listening to the book of John or something, or Psalms or whatever, any random book, and I want to just keep listening to it over and over, because I'm kind of, usually when I'm listening to the Bible, I'm doing other stuff, like I'm cooking, or sometimes I'm just sitting there listening, but oftentimes I'm doing something else and just have my headphones on or my phone speaker going, and so I'm not really concentrating, so I want it to just keep looping over and over again, because then I'll catch something new the next time through, and I'll do that. I've actually returned to that. To be honest, if you want to grow in the Lord and you want sin to have less power over you, like less temptation and stuff like that, it's not a perfect cure, but it will help you a lot if you just listen to the Bible all the time. I mean, literally all the time, like 90% of your waking hours. I did that for some years, like a couple years straight. I don't know, maybe, I think it was like 5 or 7, I don't know how many years ago. It was probably like 5 to 8 years ago. I was doing that, and my life was utterly transformed, and I would recommend it for anyone who really wants to grow in their relationship with the Lord and increase their faith and have a stronger fight against temptation when it comes, and various trials that you experience. The more you soak yourself in the Word of God, the more prepared you're going to be for those dark moments, and the more equipped you're going to be to have conversations with people about your faith, and the closer you'll feel to the Lord, because the Word, the Bible, is his primary means of communication with us. Not to say it's his only way, but it's a huge tool that he's given us, and if we're neglecting it, we're really missing out. I think of it like Jesus did. He talks about, I have food that you don't know about, and he was talking about, well, in that case he was talking about to do the word of the Lord, but he also said, to do the will of the Lord, but also he talks about how I am the bread of life, he says, but it also says elsewhere that, like, the word is like bread, is like food for us. It's like our spiritual food. I can't remember the verses because I'm terrible at recalling or quoting things, but it does talk about how the Bible is like our spiritual food. So if you're feeling like depressed, or you're anxious or sad or tempted, any of those negative kind of things, the Bible, just saturating your life with it, it really makes a huge difference. I can speak from personal experience, and lately, the last I don't know how long, maybe a month or so, a couple of months. Time is flying for me, so I have no concept of time at this point, but I've been trying to return to that habit. I know I haven't been reading on stream, and I apologize for anyone that likes my streams for the Bible reading stuff. I haven't been doing that, but off stream I have been reading, or mostly listening to the audio Bible, and yeah, I highly recommend it. If you heard what I just said and like want any of those benefits in your life, it sounds too formulaic or too easy, and it can be that way if your heart's not in it. But I find audio Bibles to be a good way to do it, because sometimes it can feel burdensome or unrealistic to like spend 8 hours a day just sitting down and reading a book, I don't do that. I've never done that. But if you use an audio Bible, you can be working on other things, and people around you don't even need to know that you're doing it. You can just wear headphones and just pull your headphones out every time you need to talk to somebody or pause your Bible. But yeah, I know this sounds really ancient, old-fashioned, and square, and I don't care at all. There's a lot of hurting people out there, broken people, lives destroyed, things falling apart, society exploding. You want answers, you want solutions, you want to feel better about it. I'm giving you some. I'm just saying, I don't have answers in them myself, but the Lord does. His word does, and I highly recommend it. I know it sounds, in the streaming world especially, a bunch of young people that just want to watch a bunch of crazy stuff. Those people aren't going to be on my stream anyway, but if you want to know what I recommend for life, this is one of those key lessons or key takeaways, is to immerse yourself in Scripture. If you want to see maturity, if you want to grow in wisdom, if you want to be a better man or a better woman, if you want to fight off the temptations of the world around you, I'd encourage it highly. And of course, while you're doing it, seek the Lord. Don't just do it out of some religious activity. You gotta be in a relationship with Him, because without the Spirit of God in you, it can just be a meaningless activity, like just words flashing in your ears. I still think it has value, but you really should be doing it in the context of a relationship with Jesus Christ, because if you give your life to Jesus, if you confess your sins and declare that He is Lord and believe that He died for your sins to take your sins upon Him and that He raised from the dead, if you believe those things and you start a relationship with Him, He gives you His Holy Spirit to live in you, and that Spirit that He gives you is what gives you the ability to understand His Word and to have the desire to obey and follow Him. Without that, it's just, you're going to try hard, try to do this or that, and you're not going to succeed. It's really only with His strength that you're able to do those things. So, anyway, it's a bunch of stuff. Let's see. So I know I need to work on these, but I kind of just, when I look at it, I just get overwhelmed. I just I don't know what to do. So if you ever feel that way when you're working on projects, I'm right there with you. I'm probably the king of that feeling. Most people can focus probably better than I can. I get so easily distracted. But, so I guess I can at least think about this maybe a little bit, maybe add some different options here. It would be nice to have icons for each thing. So like if I could think of an icon that represented a verse, chapter, and I know what I could do. Let's see. Let's open Inkscape. I'll see if I can think this through a little bit. I don't want this to be too cheesy. I want it to be visually sensible, though. Let's see. Somewhere I have the project files for this. Let me see if I can find them. I hope I saved those in like a working folder somewhere. I don't remember what I did. Let me see where they're located. These ones here are in. It's not going to help because I embedded them, so it's not linked to physical files. So I'm going to have to find them. I don't know where I put them, which is not very nice. Sure, it's called scroll, but that's kind of dumb that I didn't. I should have saved that in a separate file. I have like this huge giant folder inside the project with a bunch of icons that I got from a free online library, and I think I just threw mine inside of there somewhere because I don't see it as a separate file anywhere. These are some of the free ones that I found online, but I don't know where the one is that I made. It's not any of these, that's obvious. Well, you know what? I wonder if my... Let me check this real quick here. Okay, that's... maybe working? I don't know. YouTube, Rumble's messed up for sure. I'm pretty sure I'm offline on Rumble. Well. Maybe not. Gotta get past these stupid ads. Even me as the streamer have to watch ads on my own channel. Yeah, so I think Rumble got messed up. Looks like it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. 5x5 over here, Forest Magdump. Thanks, man. Thanks for the feedback. What do you think about Odyssey? Are you a gung-ho Odyssey guy? I haven't felt like much is going on Odyssey for quite a long time, so I still stream there, but I don't think about it too much. Ever since, I feel like it kind of died down since they got cut off on the YouTube mirroring thing, because that was one of the coolest things about Odyssey is you could like link your YouTube channel to Odyssey and it would automatically pull in all your videos from YouTube, and so a lot of creators were kind of mirroring their channels there, and I think that's what partly gave it some growth for a while, and then I think that kind of feature got destroyed or something happened, and so ever since that happened, a lot of the creators that I was sort of watching, like for a while I was watching them on Odyssey because you get the bonus for watching stuff there, but now I don't watch Odyssey at all because of that. They got rid of that feature. Anyway, I'm rambling. I love it when it works. I've been getting more into it and started uploading videos. Just posted 2 tonight. Nice. What kind of stuff do you upload or whatever? Okay, so I need to find this scroll that I was working on. Oh, here it is. I think I found it. Yep, there it is. Okay, so what I'm thinking, let me close this and just open it directly. Yeah, I don't know if this error comes and goes, but when I don't know if you've ever live streamed there, but when I live streamed there, it's this really weird bug. It's hard to explain, but when I start my live stream and then I click on the page that goes to my profile where the live stream is playing, I think this is only something that the creator experiences. It's not necessarily what users would see, but when I start my stream, like I set it up on Odyssey, and then I have to wait for it to verify or whatever it's called. It takes like 2 or 5 minutes. And then when it comes back with the ready, where I can click on the link, you click on it and it pretty much crashes it doesn't crash the browser, but it crashes that tab. Like it's hard to explain, but it basically hangs for eternally. And so I have to like refresh and kill it and do all this stuff. It's very buggy. It's been like that for, I don't know how long, like 6 months or longer. And it's occasionally it doesn't do that, but most of the time it does, and it's really annoying. This is primarily my gun content channel. I have a primary channel for more political stuff and memes. Gotcha. So are you, when you say gun content, do you mean like, kind of like Kentucky Ballistics or Demolition Ranch kind of style stuff, or what do you do with the guns? I'm not really into guns myself, but I really enjoy those two channels, Kentucky Ballistics and Demolition Ranch. And then I don't know if you're into those guys or not, but kind of crazy that sounds like Demolition Ranch is retiring. It's the latest news. He's like the biggest gun streamer on YouTube. But I don't really care much about guns, to be honest myself, but I enjoy their content just because they're funny, you know, they just do funny, silly stuff, I guess. It's kind of mindless entertainment. Okay, so I think what I'm going to try here is, I'm thinking, I don't know if this will make sense, but I'm thinking to just put like a, pardon me, my Taco Bell is regurgitating. Let's change the font on this. Let's see, do I have kind of a... Let me use one of the fonts that I use on the website so it's kind of cohesive. Oops. Let's use this heading font. Or no, let's use this font. I can't remember what it is. It is... actually don't know what it is. WH logo, but that doesn't mean anything. It's down here then. Mostly gunsmithing, how-to, and things like that. There's plenty of shooting channels out there, so I stick more to information side for people who may be new or looking for more technical info. Oh, that's cool. I do watch a lot of DIY makers. Like I tend to watch a lot of what do you call it? All of a sudden I can't even think of it. What do you call it when you blacksmithing, or what's the more normal word for that though? I watch blacksmiths, like people, forging, like people that do forge stuff. Tend to watch a lot of that, and then like lately I've been watching people that like restore things, you know, like take an old rusted thing and make it all shiny and new and stuff. And people that work with lathes and you know, plasma cutters and all sorts of things. I find that relatively interesting. Just I honestly wish I had the money to get into that, like buy a bunch of fancy machines and make stuff, but it's feels like so unapproachable to the average person unless you already own some of that equipment. It's very expensive. Let's see. But that's cool that you're into that. That's very interesting stuff. Assuming you must have some kind of small lathe or something that you use. Let's see. I like metal. Like I would love to be able to work with metal if I had the money to buy some of those machines, but even just welding I think would be fun. Why can't I find this font? I have it in a CSS variable and I have to find that variable wherever it is, or I could just look at my CSS file directly, but I should be able to find it. I don't know where it is. Arg. I'll just have to look at my CSS. cool. I used to be really into the blacksmithing stuff. I was a certified welder for a while, and I'm also a machinist with smallish lathe, mill, a plasma cutter, and the other goodies. Oh man, I'm so jealous. That would be... I would make a life out of that if I could. But I tend to have a short attention span, so I don't think I could really, you know, make a career out of it or something. But do you do that just for fun, or is it like you do it as work, like you get money from it and stuff? Let's see, a Varel. No, this isn't right. I need this one up here, not heading. It's, what is it? Maybe it's just a SVG, but I thought it was I think it's a font. I just need to select it again. We got oh, WH logo. Okay. Ango Italica is what it's called. All right. That's what I needed to know. It took way too long. Anglo, what was it? I might not have that font installed. Ango Italica. Oh, great. Apparently I don't have that font installed, so I need to find it somewhere and install it. Yeah, I recently switched from Windows to Linux, and I still have these little pieces of the puzzle that I haven't put together. There's so much, like, crazy amount of work to switch operating systems, especially with the live streaming. Took me 3 years to amass the equipment. When I found good deals, it's primarily personal. Gotcha. Just for fun then, huh? Like a hobby. I tend to be like a hobby hoarder, and knowing that about myself, I sort of set logical limits on myself. Like, I'm always tempted whenever I hear someone's cool hobby. I'm like, oh shoot, I want to get into that. And if I didn't constrain myself, I would end up like buying a bunch of equipment or materials and then lose steam like halfway through and never really fulfill the hobby. So I try to focus on one or two main hobbies and then just play around with, like, I try to pick hobbies that don't take a lot of upfront investment. Otherwise I know I'm gonna like spend way too much money on it and then end up not really getting into it as deep as it, like, basically none of my hobbies are money makers, so I'm like, I end up spending money on a bunch of stuff and then I have no justification for that expenditure. And at this point I have no money, so I kind of don't have a choice in the matter. But okay, I have the same problem. I used to say my hobby was collecting hobbies. Yeah, same thing here. It's funny. I've kind of learned to control it, though. I used to be just out of control, and I sort of still am out of control. Like I was just talking about in the beginning of the stream, where I'm getting back into map making, sort of. Like I installed QGIS or QGIS or QGIS. I don't know how to say it, but and I've been like figuring out how to load different map sources in there and play around with contours and you know, LiDAR maps and OSM, OpenStreetMap sources and vector maps and stuff like that. And oh, it's a huge distraction from what I should be working on. But I love hiking, and so I have a hard time not loving maps and getting into that stuff. Okay, so I need to find this font real quick here. I think it's on my this drive here, possibly. Actually, I have no idea. This is gonna take forever. Is it Ango? I already forgot. Ango Italica. Okay, let me do a search for that here. Apparently not on that drive. I hope I can find it. I guess I could always just look for it online, because it's probably... Most of the fonts I use are from like free font websites, so it's not like I can't find it again, but sometimes it's kind of a pain. Oh, actually, I know where it probably is. Yep, I found it. Okay, let me install that. Might have to close. Oh, looks like it worked. Sweet. I don't know about that. It's really compact, but maybe that's a good thing, because then it wouldn't take up as much horizontal space. Basically, what my idea is to make icons for verse, like chapter and book, so VSB or whatever, VCB. I don't know if I'll use this scroll or not, but I was thinking I could, possibly, if it looks good. The other thing I could do is kind of a book icon or something. Let me see what that might look like. But yeah, by the way, I don't recommend hanging out on my channel too much. Not that I'm trying to get rid of people, but I am the most boring streamer on the internet. Easily. It's my claim to fame if I have one. Okay, so I kind of want to stick with the scroll theme if possible, but I'm not sure it's going to look good, so I could do something like this as well. Especially if I get, I don't know, I don't think that it's going to look stupid. The other thing I could do is split this up. Not sure how they have this grouped, but looks like it's all just one. So we can just use the node editing tools and get rid of this extra junk. Gotta say, I caught a few of your installation streams, and really cool to see your also religious Christian. A pleasant surprise. Oh, thanks. Yeah, most people would not say that, but yes. Those were fun streams. I actually enjoyed that. Mainly just because I was doing something active, physical, whatever, you know. Accomplishing something. I have a hard time, like when I first started streaming, I was doing a lot of like, just, I don't know what to call it, not entertainment, but just, you know, playing piano or playing a video game or something, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't want to put anybody down that does that. No, just enjoy your fun stuff, do that. But for me, it just felt like a waste of time, you know, because I'm just not accomplishing anything. I couldn't do it anymore. So I'm not going to say I'm never going to live stream gaming or something ever again, but I don't know. I have a hard time sticking with it anymore just because of, feels like I'm just frittering my time away or whatever you call it. It's probably not the right word, but you know what I mean. I used to be better at this stuff. Okay, let's go about this an entirely different way. That is way harder than it needs to be. Let's just use this and let's cut it with one of these. Try to line these up here. Snapping. And let's cut this. That didn't work. I used to be really good at node editing and vector graphics and all this stuff. It's been like 10 years since I've really been into this, so I'm a little bit rusty. I feel like that should work, but it's not working. You gotta get the right order of selection to Oh, maybe it's a group. Let me see. Yeah, I'm very bad at this. Okay, that is a group. That's why it's not working, I think. Let me ungroup it. Now it should work. There we go. There we go. It's cool to see the hands-on stuff. I'm still working on my building project. I had to rip out all the insulation in the roof and cable ends and start over. Someone really made a mess of it. Nice. Have we talked before? Because I talked to somebody that was working on that stuff. It could have been you. But I don't... Maybe you have more than one username? I don't know. For some reason your username isn't looking familiar, but I feel like I talked to somebody about that. And I was like, oh, cool, somebody else is working on this stuff too. Let's see. That was you. Okay, cool. Well, good to see you again. I probably won't remember your name, especially if you keep going to different channels. I mean, Forest Mag Dump is pretty memorable, so maybe if you come back with that username, I should remember, but I'm pretty bad with names, so... Weird. Apparently, Inkscape has a max zoom level, and I just reached it. Like, I can't go any closer than that. That's really annoying. Don't think I've ever noticed that before. Hate it when it doesn't do what I want it to do. That's more like it. And let's make this one. Let's see. There we go. Welcome to Party and Followed. Thank you, Dev Marvel. How are you doing? What kind of... Are you a streamer or a viewer or both? Yeah, I am live streaming on 14 different platforms. So some people find that not very appealing, and they want me to be all about one platform, so I apologize if that information makes you want to throw up in your mouth, but I don't do it for attention. I just do it as a hobby. So yeah, I'm on many different platforms, Party being one of them. Okay, let me see. Is this gonna... Oh, there we go. Yep. And let's pull this in just a tad. Actually, it kind of looked better before I did that, but it's good enough. I don't like that there's this many nodes right there. I feel like I could get rid of them, but if I do, it's going to mess it up, so be nice if I had a center line version. I could make a center line version of this, actually, if I wanted to be... It kind of looks stupid, to be honest, the fact that it's not symmetrical, so probably what I should do is go about this an entirely different way. Just take a rectangle, turn it into a path. Actually, that was the wrong command. Stroke to path, no, object to path. There we go. Wait a minute. No, it's still not working. I'm so bad at stuff now. Don't know what I'm doing anymore. I thought that's how you did it. That's weird. It's not working. No, it worked. You have to do it twice or something for some reason. Okay, so now I can add these nodes here and just like pull them up. I don't know if this will communicate that it's supposed to be like a page or not, but that's kind of the idea, I guess. I don't even know if it's a good idea or not, but it is what it is. the other thing, let's see, I guess that's fine. And if we put this inside there, I guess it doesn't really even matter if it looks like a page. The thing I was thinking of is just trying to go with the scripture theme since we're working with the Bible. I think the scroll thing is way too ornate. I think it just has too much detail for this particular application. So something like this makes more sense. I'm not sure about this font. The reason I was choosing it is to be cohesive with the site logo, but I don't know. I don't like how compact it is. It's very scrunched horizontally, but maybe that's okay. It would give me more space to work with, but I kind of prefer icons to be more like a square, so it would be more like something like this, and then the V looks really like an island to itself in the middle there because it's so squished. So maybe I'll just skip using the site font and just use whatever else I want. Any font doesn't matter. It's interesting that not all the letters look scrunched, but they are definitely somewhat scrunched. The other thing I could do is mess with the aspect ratio, but whenever you do that, it looks like junk. This is my main. It's the channel I was using when we chatted. Okay, that looks more familiar. Not to say that, I'm not going to lie and say that I remember everything that we talked about, but I do remember that you said you were working on a similar project, and I was like, no way, what are the chances of that? That's all I remember, really. But that name does look somewhat familiar. I'm just sitting here struggling with graphic design stuff because I not really in this world anymore. I don't do this stuff. Let's just see what Avenir looks like. That's kind of, lately it's been my favorite font. If it looks good, I'll just use it. Okay, so we got C for chapter. First chapter book. The only problem is B is going to look different because it has the ascender on it. So I'm going to have to probably go with all caps. Otherwise you'd have this issue where the B extends up farther and it doesn't look centered. So we'll just have to go with all caps. So we got that one. Oh, I'm so bad at keystrokes. Part of it, I mean, I could use this as an excuse, but I'm using Linux and things are a little bit different, but that's kind of a dumb excuse. I don't like how stringy those look. I think you can change the weight of this font, but I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't come up with multiple names. I guess, here we go. Okay, semi-bold. Let's go with bold. Now I have to deco over the insulation with 1/4" OSB, and I don't have a panel hoist. I'm thinking of making some cleats or something. Not looking forward. Oh man, yeah, I've never actually done sheetrocking or whatever. That was probably something we talked about too. I remember it was probably you. I was talking about how sheetrock is the cheapest option, and I was originally thinking of using 1/4" plywood or something because it looks cool, but then I found out that it's pretty obvious it's not fireproof, and so even some of the insurance companies can have an issue if you don't use something that's fire resistant when they're like reviewing your property or something. And so I just figured, I'll just, even though I want it to look a certain way, I think I'll just play it safe and probably use sheetrock. But yeah, I mean, just those things are so heavy. You kind of need like 2 people to install them. But I did watch some pretty cool videos of people using some clever tricks, like just temporarily pounding a screw into the ceiling joists and like using a rope and different weird tricks to kind of, or basically it's hard to explain, but they kind of screwed it in just to support it with this little piece of wood, and then I don't know. Anyway, there's some clever tricks you can find on YouTube about how to install heavy sheets just by yourself. But ultimately, it's just easier to have a friend or family member to help. Okay, the other thing is, if this doesn't communicate the fact that this is a page of the Bible, is kind of pointless in a way. The only way it probably would communicate that is if I line them up like this. Then it sort of looks like a book or something. But if I don't, and nobody even understands visually that that's what's going on, then I may as well just use like a square with rounded corners. It'll just look more pleasant as a sort of a button, which is probably what I should do, to be honest. It'll just look better. I thought about drywall, but that's just a bunch of taping, mudding, and sanding overhead that I don't want to mess with. I'm gonna go with OSB with lattice strips and paint it all dark brown. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure it'll look way better. Yeah, I kind of remember our conversation, but okay, take that off. I think it's gonna look better just with the standard rounded corner type thing, to be honest. Not everything needs to be themed with whatever stuff in mind, so if I just center these, I think it's gonna look best. And we just path combine. And then we can just fill it with a color. And I could, like, it's weird. Your mind plays tricks on you with shapes. And a lot of it's just intuitive. Like, this doesn't look centered, for example. Even though I centered it. It looks like it's up higher. That's just because there's 2 points on the top as opposed to 1 on the bottom. So sometimes you have to compensate for visual discrepancies like that, just to make it look like it's centered, even if it's not. So probably just manually line this up. That looks pretty good. And what kind of point size do we got on here? This is 1 point. That's a random size. Whoa. Not what I meant to do. Weird, even the size of these don't really look the same. I mean, they're not, because every font, there's just so many visual rules about how things look the same based on their volume versus their actual bounding boxes and blah blah blah. Nobody cares. Oh, that's like, for some reason it's wanting to be over there. Has anyone called you Terry A. Davis yet? No, I don't have a clue who that is. Who's that? I've been compared to Bob Ross. That's the only person I can think of. I have a pretty monotone, boring voice, and I'm very well aware of that. But I'm also not very well versed on celebrities, as I was talking about. So that's centered technically, but visually it doesn't look centered until I move it over that way a little bit. Just one of those funny things. It's all about the area and shape of things. So since this has a straight edge on that side, and this has, you know, bulbous curves, it doesn't look equal unless you equalize the volume. So it's just one of those tricks. Technically the C should go over this way a tad, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of subjective, but the B definitely needs to be toward the right a little bit. Okay, so there we got those. Took way too long. I'm really rusty with this stuff. And so I want to also use probably a color scheme that matches the site. So we got these. This is kind of my color scheme. And let me think about, we got this red. Sort of the red, green, and blue is probably what I'll do, but let me see. Doesn't really matter. Don't want to overthink it. I'll probably just use these three, actually. So this is... this color here. Terry is a deep rabbit hole. He was a programmer who built his own OS, claiming he was instructed. Oh, I have heard of him. That's hilarious. So I somehow remind you of him. Yeah, he was... I started out on DLive, and he was streaming like 24/7 on DLive. I don't think he was ever actually there. He just had like a looping playlist of videos that I do remember him from like 6 years ago when I first started streaming. He was on DLive. I never connected with him, but yeah, I kind of caught that vibe. I don't want to say anything this way or that way about him, but not my kind of thing, I guess. But it's interesting. It's probably a very interesting person to talk to, I suppose. I don't know much about it. Let's see. Yeah, I just got distracted by my own talking. So I don't know if these colors translate. It'd be nice if it was in a hex format. 27745, let's just try it. Every program has its own way to represent colors. Oh, I already forgot the numbers. 7745. Looks like it's consistent. Okay, now let's do this one. Guess it's this one. 233, 40, 45. Looks good. Oh, here we go. Ah, this is a good song. 154, 125. What is this song? Oh, Phantasy Star 3. That's fantastic music. can't remember that many numbers all at once. 25. There we go. Get rid of those outlines. Got verse, chapter, and book, but I gotta get those in order. Probably will make the, probably shouldn't have combined those because I think I'll keep the B, V, and C as white, probably. Just so that they're always high contrast, because, yeah. And actually, I wanted to get all visually consistent with this. This is starting to look like some logo for some, like, television network. But I don't know which one, but this looks kind of maybe BCC or what is that one? British, whatever it is. Okay. I'm going to make this one red, so it's RGB. So red, green, blue. So we got to rearrange these. Let's just make this easy on myself by duplicating this, and then I can copy BBC. Yeah. I don't know that it looks like that, but it looks like some kind of logo. I don't know what it is. And paste. I probably won't go for much longer because I need to eat something, and then, I don't know, I wish I could get more done today, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to. I always get caught up on these random details. They're things that have to be done, so it's not a total waste of time, but it feels like I'm never accomplishing anything, which is kind of annoying. I always have this, I feel like I can be more productive than I actually can be. Every time I actually sit down to write code or do anything, it takes me like 8 hours to do a simple operation. Book, chapter, verse. There we go. And I'm just going to save this as a SVG for now, and then I can come back and... Oh, actually, let me undo these so that I can... make these white. Also should convert these to curves so that they don't get messed up if I don't have the font installed somewhere. There we go. See how not centered that is, but since it's a letter B, it looks better when it's over that. Oh shoot, I apparently messed that up. There we go. Looks good enough. I think the C actually needs to go over that way just this tiny bit. That'll work. Save. I'll probably just end the stream now. It's kind of late and I haven't eaten yet, so it's crazy how fast time flies and I get 0 done. It's pathetic. Oh well. But we got book, chapter, verse icons. And so basically what I want to do eventually, the idea is when you have this thing where it's like options for continuing and looping, I'll have book, chapter, verse for the loop option. So it'll be concise and intuitive. Continue. I don't know. I haven't really figured this out. I guess under once, like no loop, I don't know if once is the right thing. I might have an arrow icon. I'll have book, chapter, verse. Under loop, I'll have book, chapter, verse. And continue, I don't know if that will actually remain, but Time flies when you're having fun. I don't know if I'd call this fun, but it's something. It's occupation. I'm spending time. Ultimately, I think the goal that I have in mind will honor the Lord, and so that's why I'm doing it. In the meantime, with all this number crunching and graphic design and CSS and HTML and JavaScript, I don't love it, to be honest. It's not my favorite thing, but my hope is to eventually finish this. And once it's finished, I'll definitely get back into reading the Bible on my stream, which is the whole thing that inspired this project. The project has gotten way bigger than that goal. I mean, it will serve a bigger purpose than that, but that was kind of what got me started. So anyway, I think I will head out for the night. I appreciate you hanging out, getting to know you a bit more, remembering previous conversations, blah, blah, blah. I'm Captain Awkward. Anyway, appreciate everybody that dropped by, everybody that's lurking. Realism had a good conversation earlier, and I am going to get out of here. Thanks for joining me today. What in the world is going on? The layout is totally messed up somehow. Oh, it's because I restarted. Okay, we gotta spend a few seconds here. Okay, now I'm going to leave. Sorry, I had to fix my layers because every time OBS crashes, which it did earlier, I have to redo everything. This is what it should look like. All right, see you later. See you, Leo. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the lemon earlier. Bye. Wait, Leo, are you still here? Let me know if you're still here. Because I'll open the DLive chest if anyone's over there, but because I haven't done that in ages. It probably only has like 5 lemons in it, but if you're still here, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll wait till next time. I always forget about that. But let me know. Probably left already, but okay. Let me open the chest for you. You're probably the only one there, so you'll get all 3 lemons or whatever it is. Go to my channel. Oh, it's a little bit more than I thought. All for you, man. Still not very much, but it's something. Sweet. All right, guys. See you around. Thanks for watching.